Yeah.
Well, for everybody out there, um, we're gonna transition from that to our special guest tonight. He's a friend. He's definitely a friend, and he's very knowledgeable on a subject that people need to talk about, especially in these days and times, because people are finally starting to wake up and realize, oh, this needs to be done because there's a crisis and all this other BS. But it's a real subject, and we have somebody, like I said, that's very, very knowledgeable. So I'm gonna need everybody right now to start tagging people, inviting people. If you're on YouTube, whatever, wherever you are, you need to get people on so you can hear from my man Vincent Gaddis, who is an insurance agent on every level, and he knows it's a multitude of things that he knows, and we're gonna touch on. But I'm not gonna steal his shine. Go ahead and introduce yourself, fam.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing today? My name is Vince Geddes. I'm the health insurance guy. I talk a lot about health insurance because it's needed, and I understand that a lot of us are under attack as far as African Americans. You know, the majority of my business are Caucasians, but I try to bring a lot of information to the community that I find when I'm in these meetings. And myself, I've been in this industry for over 13 years. I generate over $1.1 million in premium as far as doing this business. And the reason why I got into this industry was because my mother had a stroke at 40. When she had a stroke, she used to talk about, before she had a stroke, everything that she had, so that if anything was to happen to her, that we would be taken care of. And when it happened, she didn't have anything, basically. She paid a lot when it came to her benefits, but she got the wrong type of benefits, because just like the average person, you think you don't make a lot of money, so you don't want to talk to a financial advisor. Also, she went to HR for her advice. You know, HR isn't obligated to giving you any information on picking the right investments, picking the right type of 401k, picking the right type of benefits. So basically, if you don't have any knowledge of it, it's the flip of a coin. You don't know what you got. So in the process of her having a stroke on the job, she was hospitalized for 6 months. So in 6 months, they gave her what they call short-term disability. She was able to get a check for 6 months, but after that 6 months, she couldn't get a check at all. She didn't have any money coming in. She lost her job because she was unable to perform the capabilities of that job. So, you know, I'm living in Atlanta, just moved to Atlanta when this happened. And I got other brothers and sisters as well. And, you know, I'm the oldest. You hear a lot of stuff. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. And when I came back home, she was losing her home, and she had to move with my grandmother. And knowing that my mother was super independent, I never wanted that to happen to me. So one day, it was a lady who came to my door. She worked for Primerica, knocked on my door, and she was telling me about life insurance. And I come to find out that all the stuff that my mother went through, it could have been avoided with $50. $50. She could have had money coming into her home with $50. But again, you know, when you work certain jobs, you think you don't make enough money. You think you don't qualify to speak to somebody like me. I don't need to talk to this guy, you know. But $50, she could have had a check coming into her house. But she lost her home. But not just losing her home. She lost basically her family, because when things like this happen and you don't have money, you don't have things in place, your families start to beef with each other. They start to war. What are you taking care of? What are you paying for? What are you responsible for? Have you called her for this? Have you done this? So the families start to pick sides. So they get divided. And when they get divided, nothing is getting taken care of. Let's say 5 years down the line, you know, I got a sister. Again, I'm the oldest. And I talked to my sister about these kind of things. Everybody know I'm doing health insurance. I'm doing life insurance at this time. You know, been in the business for 5 years. I'm having conversations with my family, you know, because we like to come together for Thanksgiving and Christmas and shit like that. But we don't take care of business when it's time to take care of business. And I asked her some questions. You know, because I don't know what her situation is with her man. You know, I'm like, you know, is you marrying him? Like, you know, I know you got a kid by him, but you know, what's really going on? What would happen if you had a heart attack or a stroke? Who's gonna take care of the kids? You know, Like I want to raise somebody else's kid. You get what I'm saying? I ain't got no time for that shit. But you know, I want to know what's going on so I can take care of business. And she got emotional. Ain't nobody gonna take care of my kids. I'm good, you know. I'm like, okay, you know, when you grown, you know it all. And God forbid, 2 years later, she has a stroke. My sister's 34. Right now, she's in a convalescent home. She was in a coma for 2 years. She just got out of the coma last year. So within that 2 years, she has 2 kids, one 16, one 10, 2 different baby fathers. They don't get along. They don't like each other. They haven't seen each other in 2 years. The kids, they were split up. So now when we talk about real conversations, this is a real conversation that we have. And I have to visit and see my sister through a Zoom monitor at a convalescent home. She's 34. Pretty girl. But when you have a stroke, all that shit go out the window. She can't move. She can't even talk. All she could do is lay down and wave a little bit. And I talk about how many times that, you know, how it makes me feel just talking to her, you know, just trying to have that conversation with her. You know, I had to bury my mother last year due to COVID, you know, buried her on my birthday. And I'm always talking about her story because it's a lot of us that don't know. And a lot of us that when shit hit the fan, it rolls onto your children. Your children got to take up that slack. And if you haven't given them anything to work with, and they don't have anything to work with, and they're trying to build something, there's no way possible that you're going to build any type of real wealth. In my opinion, money, you need money. Money creates options. When you don't have any money, you have no options. And with my mother, it took her 3 years in order to get Social Security, right? We had to hire a lawyer. They actually said she couldn't get it. Took her 3 years to get Social Security, and out of that 3 years, they said, you know, we're going to give you $5,000 and $750 a month as your Social Security payment. So who can survive off of $750 a month? I don't think anybody can survive off of $750 a month. So if you think the government is going to take care of you, you think God is going to come out of the sky and do something for you, you got another thing coming. Just don't get sick. That's all I got to tell you. Just don't get sick and you don't have your shit together. You'll find out who your friends are. You'll find out if your spouse want to be with you. You will lose a lot of shit overnight. So that's my story. That was the reason why I got into this business. And I have real conversations with real people because I provide a real product that helps provide real solutions. So my MO is a little bit different compared to the average insurance guy. I wear suits and all that shit, but I got tattoos. You know, I will shoot the shit with you like a regular person. And sometimes my conversation may hurt because if I don't hurt you with reality, you're going to hurt somebody else because I deal with Social Security for real. I'm living this shit. You can get somebody that can sell you a product all day long, but I am living this shit. I have lived this shit. And it's so painful, you know. But that's all I got to say right there because I start to get kind of choked up when I think about all the stuff that I've encountered, you know, while being in this business. And then when I sit down with people that look like us, I get calls when it's too late. I can't do nothing for you when you went to the doctor and they did a physical on you and they found the tumor in your breast. I can't do nothing for you when they find out that you're diabetic. You know, I tell people all the time, when you get health insurance, you know, get you some life insurance too. Simplified issue where they don't do any type of blood test or anything like that. And then go to the doctor and get a physical because the doctor, they have to document everything. So if they say, hey, you know, fool, we found out you have a tumor, you know, we need to do some surgery, or you are a pre-diabetic. You know, if you're a pre-diabetic, you can never get life insurance again because you're a risk. This is the business of risk. You're a risk to them. You're giving them $50 a month. But if you fuck around and die, they have to give $250,000 to your family or either you, depending on the type of policy that you have, because people don't know that a lot of life insurance policies, depending on what you get, if you have a heart attack or a stroke, they will give you a portion of that benefit to you while you're alive. So you will be able to get a check to take care of whatever you want. So that's just my story right there. You know, I know it was a little, you know, winded, but you know, it is what it is.